Today we gotta go digging in the attic for an album that came out when I was a youngster, way back in 1991. It's by a Tribe Called Quest, and it's called The Low End Theory. Definitely one of the greatest ever hip-hop groups, and definitely one of the greatest ever hip-hop albums. It was their second album, and I never forget as a kid the anticipation when this one was about to drop. I was buzzing and buzzing and buzzing for months. The whole world was, and it didn't disappoint. From the opening bars and the opening bass line.
The days when I was a teenager, before I had status and before I had a...
With a Tribe Called Quest, as with many of the other artists of the era, the artwork was on point as well. The covers were always amazing. De La Soul, Jungle Brothers and all of the rest. They were harking back in a way to the album art of many of the classic Afrocentric jazz artists, and you can hear that sonically as well from the very first bass line and in the samples on the record, which figure prominently. The Lights of the Last Poet there in Excursions, which is the track we're talking about today. So it was a very much a synergetic kind of marriage between the old and the new, between the jazz and the hip-hop. It wasn't as contrived as it was in some of the other places. I know the media tried to jump on the jazz hip-hop thing, but it was very, very natural for a Tribe Called Quest. And you can hear it all over this classic album, The Low End Theory. I talked about the anticipation for the album, but the videos was the same when Check the Rhyme came out, when they were all partying in Linden Boulevard. Jazz, that video was iconic. Bugging Out, a switch into Bugging Out with Fife. And it just was an amazing album. Scenario, of course, one of the greatest posse cuts of all time, which helped introduce Busta Rhymes to the world. But this is just a classic album. I'm sure most hip-hop fans know all about it, but I want to celebrate it today on Vinyl Love. The Low End Theory. Tribe rarely put a foot wrong. The progress was incredible over all of these classic albums. Even the underrated ones like the last two, where Jay Dilla was involved, the beats are absolutely incredible. And they were breaking up at the time, but sonically they're really good. They managed a comeback album after Fife was gone as well. But it's really the first five that are some of the most important in hip-hop history. When I was trying to kick my own vinyl addiction, I started buying everything on CD as well. And you can see all those Tribe albums are in there as well. All formats, but it is the vinyl which we want to pay homage to. There's some more Tribe there. It is the Vinyl Love which we're going to pay homage to today, obviously. Yeah, you saw the CDs, there's the tape. It would have been my social media of the day, mixing onto these mixtapes. And a Tribe Called Quest, Gangstar, Mary J. Blige, Aaliyah, Biggie, whoever was there. That's how we promoted the music. It was the social media of the day. Putting it down on two turntables, rocking it into the cassette, later DAT, later mini disc, later CDs, and later Serato. But a Tribe Called Quest obviously would have figured very, very heavily. And these tapes also have a certain nostalgia. One of the main legacies that I would have received from digging a Tribe Called Quest and all these groups as a youngster was basically the influence on soul music and jazz. And that's where it would have all, Leon Ware there now, Dion Work. That's where it would have all started. A Tribe Called Quest famously sampled Weldon Irvine as well. So I think that's one of the big legacies. Lots of Blue Note. This became some of my favourite music of all time. And a Tribe Called Quest and others were the ones who provided that gateway. Thanks for coming through, guys. I hope you enjoyed this celebration of this wonderful, wonderful album, which still sounds great today. Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory. The Low End still sounds amazing on it as well. Next time out, we're going to celebrate arguably the most timeless one of them all. My favourite album of all time by Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?